So as you enter retirement, the fun part is you are now retired, right? You now no longer have to clock in. You never have to go to a bad meeting. You are done with performance reviews. But on the flip side, you're now entering arguably what would be the longest period of unemployment you've ever had, right? So, and that comes with some fun challenges and also some really fun questions and difficult questions. What are some pointers or guidelines to look at when I want to sustain my money as long as possible? The first thing that I look at is what can you get out of investments, right? There's typically three things that you can get out of any investment in the world today. You can get growth, you can get liquidity or the ability, access to your money, and then you can get protection, right? If the stock market goes up or down, or stock market goes down, at least I don't lose anything, like a savings account. The difficulty is you can only get two of the three at one time, right? So if I have a checking account that's 100% safe or protected and 100% liquid, but isn't growing very much. If I have money in the stock market that's growing and liquid, right? A stock or an ETF, exchange traded fund, but certainly not protected, right? In 2008, the market was down 37% in 2008 by itself, S&P 500 specifically. So it can go down. And then the third option, like a CD, for example, is protected and it can grow, but you don't have access to it. Or usually for a period of time, right? A year, 2 years, 5 years, you get to choose. But you give up liquidity in exchange for protection and some growth. So one of the most important things from a principal standpoint that I look at with clients is balancing between the three. Those three kind of categories. Or another way to say it is kind of your cash bucket, your protection bucket, and your risk bucket. That's what we look at with clients all the time. And so balancing how much do I have in cash for immediate needs, emergencies, the roof needs repairs. Usually in retirement, it's between 6 and 12 months. Sometimes I have clients who have way more, not very many clients who have way less. The protection bucket, that's where we're going to take that sustainable income from. Right, we wanted to get some growth. It's not going to hit home runs. It's not hitting 30% or anything like that. But some growth, anywhere between 4 and 6%, hopefully, over time, on average. But then also be protected. It's not going to lose money if the stock market goes down. That's what allows your retirement to kind of be anchored. What I mean by that is you have a good portion of your money in protection, and the stock market drops 30%. Well, that money didn't change at all. That's the money that allowed you to be retired or to stay retired even when the stock market goes through some big bumps. And it's going to. It has. And it will eventually. On the third side, the risk bucket, that is meant for inflation. That is meant for 20 years from now as you're entering, again, the either the slow-go or the no-go years of retirement. That's another terminology, the go-go, slow-go, and no-go years of retirement that we can get into as well. But risk, that money, again, is meant to be parked, meant to grow, and meant to not be pulled out of the stock market when it goes down. So that's kind of a place to start, though. Cash, protection, and risk, kind of the balance between the three, because we don't want all of our eggs in one basket. We don't want all of our money in risk. And what I find interesting is most people enter retirement with the same portfolio that they had when they were 40, right? Their 401k has been set up and it's grown extensively and they never look at changing it. But the rules of the game change when you're retired. They change when you no longer have a paycheck coming in. They change when you have to begin drawing income from your assets in order to pay your mortgage or to pay your light bill or to pay for gas or food. And experiences, the memories that we want. So 100% at risk is not a good idea. 100% protection, also not a good idea because you could never get access to the money. That doesn't make sense. And 100% in cash also doesn't make sense because then you can't keep up with inflation. So a balance between the three is a great place to start at looking, what should I do in order to sustainably keep my money coming in throughout my entire retirement? And that's why we recommend working with a financial advisor who's versed in cash, protection, and risk, so you can see how that balance can allow your money to be sustained for you over your lifetime.